Welcome back. It is FAQ 20. Excited to be making the big 2-0. Let's get right into our questions with our first one. Natural disasters in Japan. How do I prepare for natural disasters? Well, your number one natural disaster you probably get in Japan is going to be an earthquake. Personally, I've only experienced one earthquake since I've been here. To give you a description of the experience, it was pretty strange, really. I was asleep. It was about 6 a.m. in the morning, and I was awoken when I started to feel my apartment building, beginning to shake back and forth, and it felt almost like the entire building was made of rubber and a big hand was just moving the whole building back and forth like that. And it was a big building. We're talking about probably about 20 floors on that building. So it was easily shaking that, and we were actually only feeling aftershocks from an earthquake that was actually hitting in Kobe, which is quite a distance away. And as you know, Kobe had a very brutal earthquake in the past. It's pretty scary. I could feel all the tiny little pieces of rocks that were loose on the building just start to fall out, hit the window, and I could see my light at the top swinging back and forth, letting me know that it was really shaking the building pretty vigorously, but not enough to cause any structural damage. A lot of buildings in Japan are actually built for earthquakes. They're built to bend, to move, and to take as much shaking as they possibly can before their structural integrity is jeopardized. One thing they tell you to always have on hand for an emergency is water, obviously, because water may cease to function and you need water that's still pure and drinkable. So keep a few bottles of water, keep a flashlight because electricity is probably going to get knocked out, and keep some canned goods that won't spoil because you might not have oil to cook with anymore. So those are the three big things they tell you to always have. As you know, stand in a doorway is the safest place to be during a earthquake. It's not really that great of an idea to try and run outside. It does feel very scary when an earthquake does happen, but you'll notice the Japanese keep very calm. They don't panic. They're very used to the situation, and Japan actually has one of the best emergency systems put together in the world for handling a natural disaster should it happen. So as far as local authorities and stuff helping out during a crisis, you'll find they're very, very well prepared, and you don't have to worry about that situation. But remember the three things I told you: bottled water, a flashlight, and canned goods to be ready if there is a natural disaster. My next question comes from someone who writes a lot to me on questions about Japan, Wild Falcon 64. Really good question about what kind of activities do high school students have? What kind of after-school activities do they have? And do they study a lot after school? Well, let me explain. High school is a little bit different than Western. There are quite a few activities after school, and kids are very, very into their after-school clubs and activities. Still, one thing that they have that's even more important than those activities to them is what's called juku. And juku is pretty much a secondary school that is for cramming for standardized tests to get into college or whatever the next school, whether it be technical or college, that you wish to go to. And those are pretty intense schools, and they cover quite a bit of work. You will find high school and junior high school kids have to study a lot more in Japan than they will in other Western countries because they have such heavy standardized testing. And actually when they get to college, college is easier than it would be in your Western, but high school and junior high schools are much more difficult. So, like I said, their big thing is juku, after school cram school is what it's pretty much literally translated to. And all the kids will go to those. They have loads of homework to do, and pretty much teachers will tell them the exact things they need to know for the upcoming standardized tests, and they will focus purely on those. My final question is a good one about games, asking about consoles in Japan. What kind of video game consoles do they have, and will they be in English? Can I possibly put them in English, and can I buy import games, and will they play on my system? If you bring a video game system over here, you'll be happy to know that the electric system in Japan matches up completely to the one in America, and you don't have to buy any kind of adapter. If you're from Australia, you will. A couple different things are that Wii is going to be completely in Japanese. You can't buy in English Wii or change the settings on Wii here. Xbox I'm not sure about. I'm pretty sure though it's only in Japanese. I don't think you can change the settings if you buy an Xbox here. PS3 will actually allow you to change the settings and turn it into English. And the best thing about the PS3 in Japan is that it will play anything international in any region. So that's a really great thing about PS3s in Japan. As for Wii and Xbox, it will only play from the Japan region, so you can't buy outside games or import games. There are shops that deal in import games. I showed you in my Den Den Town video about the import shop that I shop at called A2. And there's a huge selection of games. Your biggest thing that you want to do though, don't buy a game brand new. Here at places that are like video rental places, people buy and return games very quickly. If a new game comes out, you'll find a lot of people beat it the first day it comes out, return it, and you can buy it for a lot less, for a fraction of the price. And there's a huge selection of used games always in Japan. Almost any video game shop you go to will have a great selection. So my suggestion, get a PS3 if you want something that'll play any region, and always buy your games used.